I cut up my dress instead of giving it to my sister who needs it. I need an unbiased opinion on this because I don't know if I was the a-hole. Throwaway because I am active in other communities and I don't want this to mix. So I was supposed to get married 2 months ago to my ex-partner of 5 years. Sadly we broke it off because he cheated on me at his bachelor party with a stripper. I had this beautiful dress that cost me around $2,000 out of my pocket. I had been very depressed since everything happened because I felt it was somehow my fault for not being sexy enough or not giving him what he wanted. So last weekend I decided to take my power back and I began altering the dress. I have been sewing for 15 plus years so I know what I am doing. I cut it a bit, changed the color to something less wedding y and after a week of work I had a beautiful gown that I could use for more stuff. The problem comes now. I uploaded that picture of the dress to Instagram with a caption that said something along the lines of "you can change the worst memories" or some poop like that. My sister hits me up and asks me if that was my old wedding dress and I told her yes. She then called me and asked me why I had done this. I asked her why it was such a big deal. And she told me that I could have waited till after her wedding. I was so confused. Then she reminded me that when we were staying at the hotel where my wedding was supposed to happen my mom and sister were there cheering me up and my sister said something along the lines of "oh well if you are not using it I will." We all laughed so I thought it was a joke because it was never brought up again after. She just asked me once what material it was so I assumed she wanted something similar. Now my sister is mad at me and my mom says she understands our povs. But I could have waited 5 more months till after her wedding to take my power back by the way. He F the stripper. I cut up my dress instead of giving it to my sister who needs it. So after being assured that I did nothing wrong I decided to try to talk it out with my sister. So I tried calling her but she had blocked my number. I was very confused and talked to my mother. She was trying to still stay out of it and I got a little mad and said that it was not fair. That my sister was not right because she never formally asked me and how I was supposed to just guess that she wanted it. She tried to justify her but in the end also accepted that my sister was wrong. Nonetheless she told me to just give her space and that she will just come to terms with it herself. I waited a few days till I met her in the supermarket. At first she tried to act like she didn't see me but I planted myself in front of her. She was just rolling her eyes saying she had places to be. And I just said I hope you notice how unfair you are treating me and then left her alone. That night I received a call where I was berated for being selfish for about 20 minutes by her. I asked her if she was done and asked her if we could talk it out like adults. She came over the next night and we had an exhausting fight. Screaming, crying, and after all was said and done she actually apologized for everything. She was kind of jealous of my dress and of the wedding I almost had. And she was embarrassed that she couldn't afford everything I could and that she felt like she failed as an adult and as a mother. And honestly I get it. Not because I think she is a failure, but because I get how it feels if your brain tells you failed at life because you don't have things that other people have. She apologized also because she was trying to blame me for her problems and that everything was easier if she wasn't the one to blame. We talked a lot more until I told her that she didn't need a fancy dress and that we could search for something basic and I could help her to decorate it with something. She agreed. And we actually did get to customize a very basic gown. As we didn't have much time it's not super fancy. Sadly due to the outbreak the wedding, which was supposed to happen this month, was cancelled. They had a courthouse wedding where she wore one of my dresses and she is celebrating in August if it's possible. That's everything. So even if I was not an a-hole and my sister seemed like a brat. She was dealing with some heavy feelings and I still love her. Thanks for the judgment and advice.